Hi, everybody. Alan Dietz here on behalf of the Kawiki Driver Development Program, and wanted to get a word with current points leader Levon Geest, who's joining us now, actually at the racetrack, getting ready for Oktoberfest this weekend at La Crosse. First off, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. This is a cool opportunity.
Well, tell me a little bit about what's going on at La Crosse right now. This is a busy week, Oktoberfest week.
Yeah, for sure. This is like our snowball derby up here in the Midwest. So, yeah, it's like a full weekend of racing. We came up here. I came up here Tuesday night, actually. We practiced all day Wednesday. Last night we had some preliminary races, kind of, but they're their own features. That we had like the futures and the Knights race. They kind of split all the super late models up into the kind of the veterans and then the up and comers, and they have two separate races. So I was in the veterans race last night, the Knights race they call it, and I ended up finishing fourth. So that was a good time. But the fun thing about being here is that there's racing every night. So we got another race tonight, the Trickle 99, which is like three 33 lap segments, and the person with the lowest overall finish between the three ends up winning. So that one's always a lot of fun. And then of course we got the big 200 lapper coming up on Sunday that will decide the ASA Midwest Tour Championship. So it's a pretty packed weekend.
I know I ask this every time we have a KDDP driver that's from Wisconsin, but it does have to hit a little bit different because you're racing at a lot of the same racetracks that Alan Kawiki raced on, and you've still got people connected with the sport, either working with race teams or as race fans that saw him race. So for you, what's that been like, having been in the program now for a couple of years?
Yeah, that's made it it's made it hit so much closer to home when I hear all the stories about Alan. Being in the program is awesome. It's one thing to be connected with him that way, but then to really live in his footsteps where he grew up and where he started everything is really special. Actually, I meet so many people that knew him personally, and I hear so many stories. Even the tech inspector for ASA has raced against Alan back in the day, so I've heard some great stories from him. There's all kinds of people have come up to me and showed me awesome memorabilia, told me stories. It's just it's a really cool thing to be a part of.
Now, if I remember correctly, too, you're going to college for engineering, right?
Yeah, UW Milwaukee, Alan's alma mater.
Um, what for you has the engineering background and studies allowed you to maybe learn about the race cars and apply?
I think it's helped out a pretty good amount already. The kind of just the engineering mindset, some of the stuff that I'm learning in school, the problem solving and everything, it applies to the race car. Um, I think I've gotten a lot better this year. Like as far as past years, this year I've been really hands-on with the setups and everything, and I'm understanding everything on a lot deeper level. And I think that gives us a big advantage when it comes to setting up the car. Because as a driver, I know what stuff feels like, and then I know what changes I need, and like to get the car where it needs to be really efficiently. So that's been a huge help for us this year, especially some of these races we go to where it's like a track we only go to once a year, and then you got to try to set the car up in one day. It's really helped us out at stuff like that. Like a good example is Elko the other week. That was our first time ever being there, and I think we hit the setup pretty good. We ended up finishing second, but we led a lot of laps. Had a good car, so I think it's helped out a lot.
How would you assess the season? Because, you know, I know folks may look at it and they're like, well, he's only got one win. How's he leading this thing? And we're going to talk, more about the other stuff that goes into it. But most race fans, I think, realize when you're racing in the ASA Midwest Tour and weekly at a racetrack like Golden Sands in Wisconsin, you're racing against some of the best in the country and people that race a lot, because you guys up there, I mean, you can race what, 3-4 nights a week.
Yeah, I think that's what really sets us apart. Like some of the guys like have a lot of wins this year. Like Derek, he's really been on fire lately. Ty Frederickson obviously has gotten a lot of wins this year, but we've competed really well in some of the biggest races in the country. Really, I mean, I pride myself in picking the best races, like with the most competition to go to. Like for example, the ASA Capital 200 this year at Madison, I think that was one of the most competitive races this year, and we ended up running fifth. We actually got sent back twice, 2 penalties, and we still ended up fifth. So we're running really strong against some of the best out there. And when you look at it, like we don't have the wins, but we have really strong finishes in some of those races, like the second place at Jefferson in the Midwest Tour, second place at Elko. We ran second in the Refner 88 here earlier this year at La Crosse. We almost won the Gandra 250. There's a long list of races that have really stiff competition that we've ran right up front with the best of them. So I think that's what some of the judges are seeing as far as the on-track performance, even though we don't have the as many wins as some of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're second in the ASA Midwest Tour points and second at Golden Sands. But now the other aspect of it, and I was able before we started to see your presentation that you give to the KDDP folks to let them know what's going on, and that's something that you and all the folks are doing, and that is really sharp, really informative. Tell me a little bit about the charities. I think you guys have raised almost $20,000, and also the Motivational Mondays and what's that's all about.
Yeah, for sure. I think other than the on-track stuff, for sure, that's what's set us apart this year. We were in the program last year, and we were kind of new to the fundraising and everything. And this year, over the winter, we did a lot of brainstorming, and we really wanted to do it right. So our goal this year was to raise money for 23 different organizations. And the way that we did that is we put the Alan Kowicki Driver Development Program logo on the hood of our car for every race. And then we picked a different organization in our community to raise money for each race. And people could pay $10 and then sign the hood of the car and ride along for that race. So it was a good way to get the fans engaged and to raise money for good causes. And that's really blown up this year. We had one race earlier this year at Jefferson where we were raising money for the Never Forgotten Honor Flight. And that one raised $4,000 in one race. So that was just exceptional. And like you said, right now we're actually sitting over $23,000 raised for.
Okay, so more than the one I'd seen. It was right at 18 or 19. That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, it's really blown up this weekend. We've gotten a lot of donations here, so yeah, that's been going great. And then the Motivational Mondays, we've been sharing some of my favorite Alan Kowicki quotes every Monday of the week. Been sharing on a lot of our social media as we post the quotes, and then a nice picture and stuff. And that's been cool just to kind of bring it all back to what we're really doing this for this year is for Alan Kowicki and to represent his legacy and give some people some motivation. So yeah, I like to always tie it back to him, because that's who we're racing for this year.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Any of the drivers that end up being a part of this program, this is to me the best aspect of it, and I think it makes lasting impressions on you that you'll take through the rest of your life. And you look at Ty Majeski and other guys that have been in the program and won, and Luke Finhouse. I mean, a couple of Wisconsin drivers there, and as they've gone out through their career now up the ladder, that's something that's continued. And the other thing I'd say, because a lot of folks ask me all the time, what do I need to be doing? What do I need to be doing? What do I need to be doing? And I would encourage you to go back and listen to guys like Levon, and you can check out the YouTube page for KDDP and listen to interviews and stuff, and take these suggestions, because you're racing for $54,000. I mean, this is the amount of money that you can win for this KDDP program. You don't want to focus it all on that, but you put it up against any points championships in the NASCAR Weekly Series or other pavement series and divisions and stuff, and that's a lot of money, especially for a pavement race.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you look at it that way, it really is. Um, I think it makes us chase it really hard for that, and then it's also just so cool, with Alan Roots being here, it makes us want to chase it harder too. Just represent Wisconsin, represent where he came up from. But yeah, the $54,000 is huge. That's bigger than we can win in any race around here. Bigger than we can win in any points championship, like you said. So that would go a long way with our team. That would pay for close to a full season of racing. So it's a big deal.
If you can pull this thing out and win it, have you looked at 2025 and do you have an idea what the plan would be for next year?
Yeah, I think it would be pretty similar to this year. We're getting so close. We're getting better every year with what we're doing, with the tour and everything. I really hope to get to wrap up the championship here this weekend. That's my biggest goal, is the ASA Midwest Tour Championship. But I think we're going to go after it again next year and maybe throw in some more bigger races. Travel around a little bit more. I'd like to go to some of the stars races if see if there's some opportunities there. I think we can run against the best. We've proven it this year. We've had really strong runs against some of the best in the country, Tommy Jeske and Derek Kraus and Bubba Pollard. And yeah, I just like to see how far it can go. So.
Well, it's been a great year for you so far. I know you got through the end of this month to finish it out here in the KDDP program. We wish you the best, and thanks for joining us and taking a little bit of time out of your busy week up at La Crosse.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.